In the standard chart tools, there are several master switches which we are going to review in this video. All right, we're going to go into Studies, Edit Studies. We're going to go to the Chart Tool Standard and customize that. And you can see that we have a series of master switches here. We're going to start out by showing you what the Show Supply Demand Bands master switch does. If we set this to false, you can see now that we no longer see the supply and demand bands. We just see the swing highs, swing lows, impulse correction, the bull and bear boxes, and the prior trend indicated on the chart. So let's go and turn bands back on and talk about some of the other master settings. And as a reminder, all of our settings have to have the quotes before and after them, and your tool comes with default settings, and you have a spreadsheet that defines the value of all the master settings for the standard chart tools. So the next thing we have is swing highs and swing lows. Those are the red and green dots. So if you decide that you don't want those, makes your chart look too busy, we can turn those off. You can turn off the swing lows. And this is how your chart will look when you take off the swing highs and swing lows. And you can see our bands are now back. You may want to turn the prior trend off. And if you do that, you will also notice that the CIC high and low will be turned off. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. So let me get now we've got our trend turned off as well. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the impulse and the segments, the bull and bear boxes. And at this point, all you will have left is your supply bands, because the CIC high-low is tied to the prior trend. So with all the master switches turned off, with the exception of the bands, you can now see that this is how your chart would look. And so depending on what type of analysis you're doing, you may want to turn features on and off. So I'm getting ready to turn prior trend back on because I want to talk to you about the CIC high-low and show you how to turn that off. Okay, so the CIC low is here, so that's the candle that controls the low, and the CIC high is here, and it's labeled. I just darkened that label up and changed the color so you'd be able to see it more easily, and then you can see that each of the segments in the trend have the value. So the 0, the 33%, the 66%, and the 100% value. So I changed the transparency on those so you can see those a little more easily. So if you did not want to see the CICs labeled, then you would change this setting here to false. So now you can see the CICs are no longer labeled on the prior trend. So that is a brief overview of the master switches and how to turn different features on and off in the chart tool.